All right, so let's get into Fidel Castro a bit. So after this, I was saying that Fulgencio Batista, he takes over in 1933. It's a military coup. At first, he's liked for a very long time. He's not really like technically the president, but he's kind of running everything with puppet presidents. And Fidel Castro, he's the son of a rich landowner. First, he's in school to become a priest. He's kind of in this Jesuit school. He's going to become a priest. He leaves and decides to become a lawyer instead. And he becomes very political in college and very outspoken against the government because basically it was taken in a military coup. People didn't see this as a legitimate government. And while at first people liked Batista a lot, he was doing a lot of reforms and like giving people more rights, he started then slowly taking rights away.
And was he first elected and then did that power grab thing?
All right.
Because he was the leader of Cuba twice.
He did the power grab in 1933, the coup d'etat. Then in 1940, he's actually elected. Right. 1940 to 1945, 1944 is the only time he's actually officially the president. He's kind of running things.
But was there actually an election?
Yes, there was, and he did and it was legitimate, and he did actually win. During that time, during the early 40s, people liked him. But
I know. Yeah.
Then he's slowly taking rights away from people. Fidel Castro and a lot of the other students at the University of Havana, very outspoken against him. It's debated whether Fidel Castro is a communist at this point. I said in my breakdown that Fidel Castro doesn't become a communist because until he meets Che Guevara in 1955.
Well, there's theories that he was, but he just wasn't promoting it because he didn't. Yeah, he wanted.
There's theories that I went with that because that's what TJ English says.
Yeah.
There's theories that he was a communist all along. There's theories that when he meets Che Guevara, he's turned into a communist. There's theories that he becomes a communist once he takes over Cuba's government. And there's theories that he never truly believed in communism, but he saw the Soviet Union as being a more likely ally than America and basically went along with communism to appease them. So there's a lot of different theories about what Fidel Castro believed or not.
Right.
But Fidel Castro and kind of this group that follows him, they go to Haiti, who's having a kind of revolution of their own, and they get kind of military training over in Haiti from these Haitian rebels, and they come back to Cuba and they decide that they're going to try to overthrow the Cuban government. And there's only a handful of them. This is in 1953. So what I said was there's kind of two coup d'etats with Batista in 1930.
You said there's one.
No, there's one. There's a legitimate election, and then there's another coup d'etat.
Got it.
So there's a coup d'etat in 1933. In the early 40s, he's legitimately elected. He leaves for a while, and then his party that he kind of ran behind the scenes, it comes out that they're probably going to lose the next election. So he comes in with his army and he does another coup. And he is basically like, I'm 100% your guy now. We're not having any more elections. I run everything. And that Constitution that I gave you and that Bill of Rights and all that freedom of speech stuff is going away. It was.
Sounds like he needed a dose of America, bitch. That's some anti-American shit. If
he was always full of shit because basically he gave everybody these rights, and it was
that got me fired up. I'm ready to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
It was basically like, you have these rights as long as you behave, as long as you keep voting for us. You know, the second we think that you're going to vote against our party, we're taking everything away.
Yeah.
This got
fuck everybody who feels like that.
This got Fidel Castro really mad. He was turned
We're
up.
gonna send Sleepy Joe over there and fucking slap him around.
That sounds like some Alex
Joe.
Jones stuff of just like Joe Biden was actually with Fidel Castro.
I mean, he's old enough. Jesus Christ.
So Fidel, he has his first revolution that fails in 1953.
How did he not get killed?
All right,
that guy was on a suicide
because there's what they give doesn't make a lot of sense. Of us like Batista spared his life because.
What do you mean, in the book or the documentary we watched?
Yeah, in the documentary of the Cuba Libre story, which by the way,
that was the accompanying
piece
mention that,
on Netflix.
Not like we didn't do like a full-on accompany piece.
No, because that documentary, the Cuba Libre story, kind of just does the entire history.
Well,
of
I'm
Cuba.
just saying sometimes with an episode we'll have a legit like this was the or like a an analysis of two at the same time. That's not what this was. But there is a documentary on Netflix.
Yes, the Cuba Libre story
that deals with
the gangsters in Havana, Castro's rise to power, and then
Batista
the Batista regime, and kind of what happened with Castro and Soviets' relationship afterwards.
Right.
But basically, what they say in the documentary is this: Fidel Castro was married to the daughter of Batista's right-hand man. Fidel Castro's father was also high up in the Batista's government. Fidel Castro was a rich kid.
Awkward around the holidays.
Everybody thinks of these revolutionaries from this time like they were peasants leading a revolution.
Yeah.
Fidel Castro was born into a rich family, and Che Guevara was also born into a rich family. You have
to be in a position of somewhat privilege to even have the fucking audacity to think you could do something like that. But also what's interesting is like, okay, this is going to sound like a really weird, I swear it's connected.
All right.
So like I watched an interview with the manager of Nirvana, and he talks about how Kurt Cobain hid behind a slacker image.
Yes.
The actual person of Kurt Cobain was extremely meticulous in his vision and driven, extremely competitive, would call him up and complain that MTV didn't play their video an X number of times that day, would call him up with the sales of like the Smashing Pumpkins and shit, and would be like, how come we aren't doing this? He was just but he used that image of a slacker.
Yeah.
Because I talk about this all the time with music stuff. It's very cool not to care.
Yeah.
It's not cool to care. So the point is, like, a lot of times the perception is not the reality. So like with Fidel Castro, look at how he used the media. Yeah. Look at how he used like, oh, this is a revolution. He would inflate the size of his own army. So that's the oldest trick in the book. Oh yeah, we're doing X, Y, and Z. Oh, okay, I guess they're legit.
Yeah.
Like he was doing all that shit. So it's just interesting. I know it's a weird example. But
no.